Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Asia Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 19th of December. Security forces gunned down 2 militants in India's Jammu and Kashmir province. Pakistan's army chief briefs lawmakers on national security situation. And Prime Ministers of Sri Lanka, Malaysia hold talks in Colombo to boost ties. And now for all the details. Security forces gunned down 2 militants in an encounter in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday. The slain militants are suspected to be members of Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Muhammad terror group, a senior police official said.
Two militants were killed in an overnight encounter with security forces in Shopian district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday. The encounter began on Monday evening as security forces launched a cordon search operation following a tip-off about the presence of militants in Vanipora area of Shopian. One of the slain militants was a foreigner and the other was a local, suspected to be a member of Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Muhammad or JEM militant group, a senior police official said. Meanwhile, operations were still underway to nab the third militant who managed to flee from the encounter site, the official said.
The morning, 2 dead bodies of 2 militants, one a foreign militant and yet to be identified, and another most probably, because he is also to be identified now, a local Jaish militant Tanveer Ahmed from Batmurna were recovered. We're looking for the third militant also, but I don't think I think before the cordon was laid, he must have left the area.
New Delhi accuses Islamabad of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the line of control or LOC, a de facto border that divides Kashmir. Pakistan denies those allegations.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday visited Lakshadweep Island, Tamil Nadu and Kerala province to review the situation arising in the aftermath of cyclone Oki. The disaster in India's southern parts have so far claimed 60 lives and left many missing.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday visited the cyclone-hit Lakshadweep Islands to chair a review meeting in the aftermath of the disaster. The Prime Minister was joined by several government officials as well as top representatives who have been carrying out rescue and relief operations throughout the cyclone-affected southern provinces. He also met the family members of victims of Cyclone Oki. Prime Minister Modi, after the review meeting in Lakshadweep Islands, visited Thiruvananthapuram city in Kerala province, parts of which were severely affected by the cyclone late last month and early this month. Later in the day, he also visited Kanyakumari town of Tamil Nadu province and held meeting with top officials to review the situation. Cyclone Oki has so far claimed over 60 lives and left hundreds missing as it ravaged neighbouring provinces of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. At least 250 fishermen have been rescued from the seas after days-long operations by Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard, but many still remain untraced.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa briefed the Senate Committee on National Security Matters on Tuesday. It was the first time such a detailed briefing took place. Senators hailed the briefing as a historic day for democracy and civil-military relations in Pakistan. Bajwa reiterated that Army supports Pakistan democracy and is working within its constitutional boundaries. The Army Chief said the armed forces are well aware of external conspiracies and maintained that there was a need for joint efforts to work in this direction. The briefing came as Pakistan prepares policy guidelines for future regional challenges amid increasing pressure by the US to tackle militancy. In news from Afghanistan, one of Afghanistan's most powerful regional leaders, Atta Mohammad Noor, on Monday said he rejects his resignation as governor of Balkh province. He said he will never step down from his position without a legal or political agreement.
Ata Mohammad Noor, one of Afghanistan's most powerful regional leaders, on Monday evening said he rejects his resignation as governor of Balkh province. Noor's remarks came as the Afghan presidential palace on Monday said that President Ashraf Ghani had approved Noor's resignation. Noor said that the presidential palace does not have the right to decide on his dismissal, as he will never resign without a legal or political agreement. Meanwhile, Noor's Jamiat-e-Islami party also condemned the presidential palace's decision. Some party members said the decision was irresponsible and against the principles of the national unity government and the stability of the country.
شما وقت شکایت دارید که داعش میاد، طالب میاد، تروریسم میاد، پس نسبت به این اصالت‌ها در مقابل داعشی‌ها در شمال افغانستان کی موثرتر بود کی راست کردن؟
Noor has used his position in Balkh on the northern border of the country as a power base to push for a major role on the national stage and has been seen as a top rival of Ghani. He had assumed role as governor of Balkh province in 2004.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, at least 10 persons were killed in a stampede at a prayer meeting in Bangladesh port city of Chittagong on Monday. The prayer meeting was being held in the memory of a former mayor who died last week.
A stampede at a prayer meeting in Chittagong city of Bangladesh killed at least 10 persons and wounded dozens on Monday. Grieving relatives wept at the Chittagong Medical College Hospital as bodies were stretchered in. The stampede happened as food parcels were handed out in the prayer meeting kept in memory of a senior politician, Mohiuddin Chaudhry, who died last week.
এখানে 10 জনের মৃত্যু হয়েছে এবং 10 জন ক্যাজুয়ালিটি ওয়ার্ডে চিকিৎসাধীন আছে। আমরা এখন যাতে ভালোভাবে চিকিৎসা হয় যারা আহত আছে সে ব্যাপারে ডাক্তারদের সঙ্গে কথা বলেছি।
Chaudhry's son Mohibul has announced compensation of over $1,200 each to the families of the persons who died during his father's prayer meet. Meanwhile, Awami League Party lawmaker Kareem Chaudhry said the government will also give $1,200 as compensation.
In news from Sri Lanka, Prime Ministers of Sri Lanka and Malaysia met in Sri Lankan capital Colombo on Tuesday. During talks, both the leaders discussed ways to further enhance trade and investment between their nations.
Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak on Tuesday met his Sri Lankan counterpart Ranil Wickremesinghe in Sri Lanka's capital Colombo city. Both the leaders discussed ways to enhance economic cooperation, trade and investment between their nations. The Malaysian Prime Minister said a proposed free trade agreement would be useful to further expand trade, adding that his ministers would take steps to speed up talks. Earlier on Monday, Razak met Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena as he continued his 3-day official visit to the country. The two leaders met after their officials held bilateral talks covering a wide range of issues and signed several memoranda of understanding or MOU between the two governments and private companies.
In news from Nepal, Nepal's CPN-UML Center has decided to chart out the party unification process with its ally CPN-UML before forming a new government in the country. This comes after CPN-UML leaders said the party chairman KP Sharma Oli should lead both the new party and the new government in future.
As CPN-UML in Nepal has locked its horns with the Nepali Congress on the ordinance for National Assembly election, its ally CPN-UML Center on Monday decided to chart out their party unification process before they form a new government. With the impressive victory of the Left Alliance in the recently held polls, the CPN-UML Center on Monday claimed respectable shares in both the unified party and the new cabinet. The decision by CPN-UML Center comes at a time when CPN-UML leaders have said their chairman KP Sharma Oli should lead both the new party and the government. A recent meeting by the CPN-UML Center, on the other hand, stressed that all the three crucial posts like Prime Minister, Party Chairman and Parliamentary Party Leader should not go to the UML. Meanwhile, CPN-UML Center Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal has said the two parties are close to an understanding on sharing the major posts. This means if a leader from the UML becomes the Prime Minister, then one from the Maoist Center will be appointed the party chief and vice versa.
The temperature dropped across North India on Monday due to the ongoing cold wave in India's Jammu and Kashmir province. The season drop in mercury caught locals off guard and they were seen making bonfires on roads.
The temperature dropped precipitously across North India on Monday because of the ongoing cold wave in India's Jammu and Kashmir province being the worst hit. With a minimum temperature of 10 degrees Celsius, national capital New Delhi continued to shudder under the effect of cold. The fog shrouded many areas of the city. Some residents sat around bonfires to keep themselves warm, while others wore multiple layers of clothing as they stepped out.
ये बहुत ही मुसीबत है, आग जला रहे कूड़ा बीन के, और क्या है, बाहर से घर से निकले हुए काम के लिए फंसे हुए हैं। कोई दिल्ली सरकार तरफ लकड़ी वगैरह कुछ मिला है? कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है, वो कूड़े में बैठ के ताप रहे हैं सर जी, और क्या कर रहे हैं।
Similar scenes were seen in Ayodhya city of India's northern Uttar Pradesh province. The temperatures in the Indian subcontinent dipped drastically during the months of December and January.
बहुत ठंड पड़ रही है। अयोध्या फैजाबाद में आवागमन ठप है, ठंड की वजह से वो ज़्यादा पड़ रहा है और इससे आवागमन ठप है और बिना अलाव के किसी का चल नहीं रहा है।
During late nights and early morning hours, shallow to moderate fog can be seen over the northwestern plains. Temperatures escalate during the day, however, speed of winds increases. Snowfall in Indian Kashmir has a direct impact on temperatures in lower northern provinces of India.
A travelling exhibition of painted cars and two-wheelers arrived in India's southern Kochi city on Monday. The exhibition is an effort to combine automobiles with contemporary art, for which more than 50 artists have come together.
An automobile exhibition titled Kartist Yatra arrived in India's southern Kerala province on Monday. The exhibition drew active participation from car enthusiasts and art lovers. More than 50 creative artists came together to showcase cars and artifacts smeared with colors along with a touch of culture. A host of other paintings showcased abstract depictions of Indian art and culture.
For me, it's a great opportunity, as I said before, and I could explore the culture of a new culture with the cars and other automobiles. So I could paint different ideas into my canvas.
The benefit what young artists is getting is that they are getting an exposure to see the diversity of our country. They will be able to see how the changes in the societies are happening, and they will be able to depict that through their ideas and their creative souls on the canvases, and that could be appreciated by the society overall.
Kartist Yatra, which started this month, will continue till February next year and will travel through 10 cities across India. The travelling exhibition will offer over 1,000 artists the opportunity to showcase their automobile-inspired art.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Security forces gunned down 2 militants in India's Jammu and Kashmir province. Pakistan's army chief briefs lawmakers on national security situation. And Prime Ministers of Sri Lanka, Malaysia hold talks in Colombo to boost ties. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.